if there's anybody there, it's Lisa here from kind of from Nitwits. I'm sat here waiting, hoping somebody might be joining me on my live event tonight. I might be a minute early. Yes, I'm a minute early. So I could just sit and talk for a couple of minutes. I'm hoping somebody might put a comment on. I have my ever faithful daughter sat next to me tonight.
Your trusty assistant.
looking at the comments. Oh, I want to read the comments as well, but I really need to focus on the screen. This is totally off the cuff. It isn't rehearsed or practiced really in any way, shape or form. But what I'm aiming to do tonight is to show you how I actually make and format cards for Knitwit Collections, for myself using Knitwit Collections. I will stress I have been full of cold. If there's the odd cough or whatever, I do apologise, but this is live. You'll take me as you find me.
We have 3 viewers.
We have 3 viewers apparently. Mary Fran, Little General, and Jill, I think. Oh, 4. If you're watching, please put a comment. Just tell us who you are and where you're from, because it's great to know who's watching. Don't be anonymous.
We're all
please.
Friends here.
Yes, we are all friends here, Amy, aren't we? Okay. I'm going to make possibly a start. We don't have many viewers, do we, as yet?
Catherine and Julie as well.
Oh, hi, Catherine. Hi, Julie. Julie Wood. Yes, Julie, you're a regular, aren't you, Julie? I know somebody from my own Nifty Noodles page was wanting to join us, Geraldine, because she's got loads of the Knitwit Collection kits, but she doesn't use them because she isn't confident with it. Geraldine, if you're listening, I hope you don't mind me saying that, but you're not alone. Okay, I am going to show you through my screen sharing tonight how I actually put this card together. It can be completely flat, easy to post, one sheet of A4 paper to put in your printer, and you've got a super card. So whilst this is the design I'm going to make with mats and layers and resizing of various elements, I'm going to talk you through in layman's terms how I actually go about doing this. So I am going to start with a completely blank sheet of paper, and as Knitwits did say earlier, I am using Microsoft Word. It's the program that I've always used. Amy, bless her, showed me how to use it a couple of years or so back. I don't do anything in terms of technical jargon. It's going to be plain English. There are other programs that I know people will use, but I think you will find they are probably all reasonably similar. So, blank piece of paper, and what I have is through my, is it a browser? My web browser?
Yeah, your file browser, not web browser.
Sorry, my file browser. I have decided to work today with Bouquet of Wishes. I haven't had this collection over long, but the papers and the colours are just wonderful. So rather than actually make a Christmas card, I thought I would do this. So first thing I want to do is choose a paper for the mat, the outline basically of my whole card. And this is where I probably spend most of my time actually just flicking up and down the papers trying to decide which ones to use. But I am going to start off with, let's go for the houndstooth. So I'm going to, sorry, I've already started. I'm going to hover my mouse over the paper that I want and right click. That brings me up a menu. I never even look at anything up here. I go straight to copy and I left click. I'm going back into my Word document, and if I right click, I get another menu bar, menu up, and I'm going to paste. And 2 seconds later, oh, it's put it on a different piece of paper. Anyway, I've got my houndstooth backing paper there. Now, at the moment, if I click on that, it won't move anywhere. I can highlight it, but my mouse won't move it anywhere. But you will notice here we've got a little square box, and the technical word is layout options. If I click on that and come down to the little bit that highlights square and click on that and then go back to my piece of paper, I can move it around the page, okay? But it won't move up and down. So that was step 1. Step 2, on the toolbar up at the top in Word, you go to Layout. Click on Position, and again it's the top left position, well, and it says Position in top left with square text wrapping. You can see that. If I click on that, my piece of paper is now outlined, highlighted, and I can move that. If I put my mouse on it and left click, it's like putting your finger on it and holding it, and it will now move absolutely anywhere on my piece of paper. So to optimise use, if you're printing on your paper, I generally put it with a little bit of an edge round it. I never put it right up to the edge because I don't think the printer prints the very edges, so I'll position it about there. Okay. If I move away and left click, it takes away the borders and I've just got my paper there. However, at the moment I don't know how big that piece of paper is when it's printed. So if I right click, I don't know if we've got any comments, if anybody's following, anybody asking any questions.
We have 2 new people. We have
Hi, Tina.
and Diana from Canada.
Oh, Diana, hello.
But we have no questions as yet. If anybody has any questions as we
Please
go along,
ask.
just pop them in the comments. And
So let's go back a step. Highlight my piece of paper, right mouse click, go down to size and position, and we get another box. Now for this, because I'm actually going to make this into a card later, I'm going to use a 6 by 6 inch card blank, and this is where it gets confusing because my card blanks are in inches but I work in centimetres on here. You might have your computer set to inches if that's what you want to work in. I tend to work in centimetres, but purely up to you. You get your own measurements and you can change them in here. So it's a square piece of paper at the moment, 15.92 by 15.92, and I'm just going to, it is so hard to describe what you're doing. In this box, left click, highlight, and I'm going to change that to 14, put 18 in, 14.8, because that with my 6 by 6 card blank just leaves me a little white edge around around the border. So I've now got that the size I want it. So let's just have a look at my other card. That's my border. Oops. That's my border. I now want a patterned paper to put inside of there. So let's go back into my file browser and let's choose a paper. And as I said before, if I was sat doing this at home by myself, I'd be here 5-10 minutes looking for a piece of paper to use. I'd try so many different ones. Let's go for, I've used green, haven't I? Oh God, this is so hard. I'm just going to have to wing it. And pick a pink one. Pick a pink one. Okay. Right click on there. Copy. Back to my Word document. Right click and paste. And my paper appears. Right. Remember, it's not, if I click on it, it'll put a highlight round it, but it's not going anywhere. So in this little box, left click with text wrapping. Oh, suddenly we're in the front. Brilliant. And then because it will go sideways but not up and down, excuse me, we're going up to layout, position in top left. And now when I click on that with the left mouse, it will go anywhere on the piece of paper. However, it is too big to go as a layer in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize it. Excuse me. Now then, for pattern paper like this, all of these little circles here will allow you to move, change the size of your paper. If I put my mouse on there, it turns into like a two-headed arrow. I can left click and move my mouse and it will make my paper smaller or bigger. Oh gosh, isn't that beautiful? Okay, but I don't know exactly what size it is as yet. Okay, however, just let me show you something else. And this was my first sort of sticky wicket, as it were. Here, if I wanted to make the paper narrower, if I put my mouse on there and left click and drag it in, can you see there that it actually distorts the pattern? I can make it wider and I can make it thinner, but it distorts your pattern. I'm just going to undo that and back to a square. So what you need to do always is resize it using the tools within Word. So I've got that piece of paper, left clicked on it to get it highlighted to say I'm using it. Right click, size and position, and if I take that out, my outside piece of paper was 14.8, so I'm going to make this 14.4 and just leave a 2mm border on the green. Now when I click OK there, because I've got lock aspect ratio and relative to original picture size ticked, it will automatically change the width as well. So both of them, that was a bit quick for you to see because it disappears, but it changes them both. They're both now 14.4. Left mouse, hold it down, and as you hold it down, you can move that over your piece of paper or your image, call it whatever you want to. I'll call it a piece of paper. And we have our first mat and layer. What we'll sometimes do is click on the mat, we'll call it, press your shift key, click on your second piece of paper, so it highlights both of them, and you can see just by eye I've managed to get those absolutely spot on because the little centre marks are both in the same place, they line up. So it's just a quick check. The more you do this, the more you'll be able to do it by eye without having to check anything. So I've got my first mat and layer. Okay.
We have Holly, Jo and Elaine now joining us.
Hi ladies. Absorbing all your ladies now. Okay, so my next bit, let's just reference back to the card I was following. Okay, on this one I've used the same mat on all my my diagonal square, my diamond and my rectangle bits, so I'll follow the same sort of idea here. So back here I am going to highlight just the outside sheet and right click. You need your mouse cursor right on the outside sheet though, and if I copy and then right click and paste, I get another sheet of it, but this time because I've already changed the format in terms of the
text wrapping,
I can move that anywhere. I don't have to repeat the process. And I'm going to make this a square, but to fit diagonally in there. So what I can do is I can, on this little circle here, circular arrow, okay, I'll put my mouse over that, left click, hold your mouse down, and you can move it, okay? Now I'm doing this by eye again, so let's see what it looks like. That's going to go in the middle of there, but I want it smaller, so because it's staying as a square, I can just put my mouse over the corner, left click, and shrink it down. Now shrinking it like that does make your pattern a little bit smaller because you've changed the overall dimensions. Had I wanted to keep the same size pattern there, let's go back a couple of clicks. Is that the same size now? Nope. Let's make it bigger. Still isn't. I've been playing around with that, haven't I? Back again. Okay, here we go. If I wanted to keep the same ratio of size of pattern in there, I can format and change the size of the picture differently by cropping rather than just shrinking the whole image. If I go into picture format and crop, I get a different set of little lines on the border. Okay, so this is a bit of a fine line thing. If you move your mouse, if you watch slowly, it changes to an arrow, and then it changes to like a tower. Oh gosh, a hammerhead, a straight black line. If I line that up exactly on that black and left mouse down and pull it in, it's like cutting the paper with a piece of scissors. So I can then click outside and I've got exactly the same size of pattern, but I've got a smaller piece of paper. Okay, if I go back to picture format, it will tell me up in the right here, oops, disappeared, the size of my piece of paper. So it's now 14.8 high and 11.76, and you can crop it by the top, from the top you can crop, or the bottom, anywhere basically, the left or the right, make it into different sizes. Okay, so I would use that more so when I was perhaps doing a 5x7 card, when it's a rectangular shape that I wanted. For this, I'm just going to shrink it down because I think it works perfectly all right having a slightly smaller size of the pattern. Yeah, no, Amy's telling me it's wonky, but
Sorry.
excuse me, if I hold my shift key down and put the mouse on one of the outsides, okay, I'm not quite lined up, am I, with those, so I need to swizzle it, move it slightly. Let's come out of there, highlight that again and move it ever such a little bit. Let's try it again. So shift key, left mouse click.
Almost.
Oh, almost. Now, I am a bit of a perfectionist. I could argue, would anybody actually notice?
I'll do.
Okay, Amy says it'll do. Okay, so I now have my diagonal in the middle, and I'm going to choose a different pattern paper to put in there, she says. So I'm going down to the bottom into my file browser, and it's a diagonal. I don't want a stripy piece of paper because it will end up on a really weird diagonal stripe. I want something, yeah, really, I'm going to go floral. Let's go
Butterflies.
pink butterflies. Okay, so let's start again. Hover over the one you want, left click to highlight, or just right click, copy, back into your Word document, right click, paste. We're going to have some wonky butterflies. Sometimes, because of the size of your design on your sheet of paper, if you're copying and pasting, it will paste it onto a second sheet. But here we go, left click in the square box at the layout options, square, and then back up to layout, position, top left with square text wrapping, and it brings it, I've now back on one sheet of paper. Okay, we're going to have some slightly wonky butterflies. Okay, this, if I highlight my checked diamond, size and position, okay, 10.2 centimeters. So I'm going to create my next layer at 9.8. Okay, so left click on my sheet I want to work with, right click, size and position, 9.8 I think I said. Okay, so that should now be the right size. If I put the mouse on it and click the mouse, the left mouse, it will move anywhere on the page, and up to the circular arrow. Now this one's a bit tricky because I want to line that up perfectly square with what with the mat. I can't talk and concentrate at the same time doing this. Slightly cockeyed, isn't it? Let's just tweak it a little bit. Sometimes when you can't see it very well, down at the bottom of your screen you should have a little bar, a bit like this one, and it will zoom in or out. So if I move that in and zoom in a bit, shift key, let's have a look at, oh, it's not far out, is it? It's not far out. I'm maybe not even a millimetre out there. I'm going to make that do. So because I want to be able to see the whole of what I'm working with, I'm going to go back to pretty much the normal size. Yeah, I think the butterflies still work on there. That's good for me. So my next bit is, oh gosh, we're doing a rectangular bit next. Okay, this is going to test me, isn't it? So I'm going to use the same green border. So I'm going to go back to my original. I'm going to highlight it. I'm doing this without talking to you. Right click, copy, then right click, oopsie daisy. Oh, have I got that one? Let's get rid of that one. Okay, highlight that, copy.
You're clicking the wrong button, Bob.
I'm clicking the wrong button apparently.
You need to click copy rather than paste.
Oh, copy. Paste. Oh, God. Yeah, copy, paste. Right, okay, we've got the green.
Even she makes mistakes.
Of course I do. This, I've actually written myself a note. I'm going to have this 13 centimetres high and 3.7 centimetres wide. I've already measured what I did on my last card. So I am going to resize this. So I'm going to right click, go to size and position, and I am going to put it in my biggest measurement, which is 13 centimetres. So I now have the height that I want my rectangular strip, and I only want it, actually 3.7 wide. So here we go. Picture format, crop, and let's take a hazard and see how near 3.7 I can get on my first attempt. Okay, I'm not going to click anything on my actual sheet of paper, but I'm going to go back to picture format. Oh gosh, I'm way out. Height's 13, width 2.67.
Can I actually just give you a bit of a tip? So you see up here, you can actually input.
Yeah, but it's changing the height.
Oh!
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I have tried
I
that,
take it
Amy,
back.
but yeah, when you change one, it changes the other.
I take it back.
It would work for a square, but it doesn't work on this.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very strange.
See, my technical assistant, he doesn't know everything.
Ouch.
Right, let's go back to 13. So I need to make my rectangle a little bit wider. So it's 2.67 now. If I come back over here, and remember this, what do you call it? It's like a weather vane. Let's call it a weather vane. It must have a name. If I move it really carefully, it then turns into like a hammerhead. Left click on it and drag it back out. Oh yeah, I want it about 1 centimetre. Picture format 3.54. I'm not far off, am I? I'm going to be really, really pernickety and just do it a really little bit more. 3.62. I'm not to 0.8. I'm not on this. It really doesn't matter. That's going to be my mat for my rectangle. So I can now click outside of all of that, and it's as though I've cut a piece of paper out with my scissors. And that I'm going to position somewhere around there. And I want actually I can use the stripe paper in here now, can't I? I want a layer of paper to go in there. Back into here. The quite wide lines in here. What should we go for? Something quite neutral? Or what do we fancy?
Go for a stripe.
Stripe. Taupe. So right click, copy, back to the document, right click, paste, Just going to bring it down here. Left click to highlight it. Click the box, top right, layout, position. I say all this in my head as I'm actually doing it, and it's just so much automatic pilot now. It just happens, and it will happen. You will get used to it. Now I might shrink it down rather than crop it all first. I'll make it smaller. That was 13, so I am going to right click, go to size and position, and my height is going to be 12.6, just 4mm smaller than my. Is that going to work? It'll be fine. It will be fine. And now I'm going to make it 4mm smaller than 3.62 wide. So let's go for 3.4. Okay, I'm going to move this over here. Sometimes it works and sometimes it kind of doesn't. So I've kind of got it on the area I want it to go end up on top of. Picture format, crop. Now as I bring this across, because this is on top of my last piece I was working with, I can just see underneath the outline. I don't know how clearly you can see it, you probably can't, but I can just see the outline of my mat. Now I'm not totally enamoured with that, but for the purposes of this I'm not going to do another one. I'm going to leave it. This is why I take so long choosing my papers. Everything coordinates. We know it does because Mary Fran does such a wonderful job with all the colours and coordinating everything, but yeah, never mind. Okay, so that is my basic layout. Now this rectangle could go behind your diamond if you wanted it to. I'm going to show you quickly how to do that. If you left click your top sheet of paper, hold your shift key down and hold left click on your mat, you've got them both highlighted. Right click and you've got an option here that says send to back. Now, if I send that to the back, it sends it behind absolutely everything on there. However, you've got an arrow here. If you move your mouse along to the arrow and send backward, it tucks it behind the diamond paper. And if you then, on your keyboard, press F4, it will repeat your last click, your last whatever you've done. It's not a transaction, is it?
But that makes sense.
Your last transaction.
Your last action.
Your last action. Oh God. It puts it behind. But I don't want it there. So I'm going up to my undo button and I'm going to click that twice to get it back on top.
Would taking the aspect ratio off help you to alter the width without changing the height? We can try it.
Let's try that. Okay.
Just copy and paste a piece.
Let's
copy.
Yeah. Let's copy and paste that. Let's put it square because okay. So
Size and position.
If we size and position, if we we want it relative to original picture size?
Yeah,
let's make the width 4.
Okay, let's say 4. No,
No,
that will smush it, unfortunately.
It's unfortunately, I think I've been there and done that. It's the same as doing that and it squishes your image up. I think I have tried most things, unless Mary Fran or the Little General can say anything different. For me, the cropping it works and I've got so used to it, and looking at the borders and the widths that I can get it quite good quite quickly. But this is partly why I like square cards. But no, if anybody can do that or they've got a brilliant idea for it, please do let us all know. But I haven't been able to do that as yet. If I can work it out, I'll let you know. Right, let's go back up here. I am now going to put the topper in place. This is Bouquet of Wishes, and just have a look at these. If you haven't got this collection, it's gorgeous. The colours are so, like the deep pinks are so rich. I'm getting such a dry throat.
Okay.
Great words and tags. Okay.
Nitwits have suggested turning off both of those boxes when resizing.
Okay, let's go
Let's
back.
have another go. You know, you've just taken that piece away from where it was, right?
Let's put it back. Let's
put it
copy
back.
it. Okay. Can't work with it at an angle. Okay, so size and position. Let's make that 4, and let's just...
Take them both off.
Did I not take them both off?
No. Click OK. There you go.
No, it's made it square.
It was already a square. Oh!
No, because I changed the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it still changed both measurements.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me just check. Because I apparently don't trust you. No, unfortunately, that does the same thing.
Oh, can you keep... Did I not...
Your because you had these on, it changed it. But yeah, no,
I'm sure I've tried both of those.
that does not work, unfortunately. Good idea, but we'll figure it out. I'm really determined now to figure out a way.
Anyway, I'm back on finding a topper, and I'm going to use a blank label. I love the shape of that one. So I'm copying that. I'm going to paste onto here. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
And same thing. And that's going to go on the top of there. Now, what I can do with this is just shrink it, because there's no text, no writing, no nothing on there. Perhaps it's not the right one because of the pink. Let's go back.
What are other options?
Let's go for that one. The number of options that I try with things like this. I mean, this is part of the fun of it, though, isn't it? Sometimes I can make a card so quickly, and others I can sit here for half an hour just trying to choose the papers. Okay, if I haven't done this. If I had more time, I would choose my papers slightly differently to coordinate. Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
a little bit better here. I've not got it quite right tonight. That works. It's the stripy paper.
You could try change it.
Yeah, I'm going to... it's a bit awkward showing you how to change that, but shall I go for it?
Go for it.
Okay. If you want to change a paper, I can change that without going and getting a new... Oh gosh, how do I say this?
Without starting from the beginning.
Without starting from the beginning. If I right click and change picture, I can go to change picture from this device. Now this is going to bring up... Yeah, don't look at this too closely. It's my whole directory of all sorts. Oh my gosh, where am I in? It's every day. What am I working with? Bouquet of Wishes. From your web browser, you then need to find what you're working with, and you get another window up here, and you've got... Well, I've got a little mini version. I could make it bigger, I think, but a little mini version. I'm going to change that to...
What about something pink?
I was going to go just... what about
See with
damask?
Okay. But
Still not right.
No.
Picture this device.
I think
Okay.
that blends too much with the topper colour. Nitwits say, look at that list of nitwit kits.
I know. that list of Nitwits kits gets bigger by the week.
Honestly, all of our storage on the computer is taken up by these.
Well, not quite. Well, hopefully not all of it, because I haven't got all of them yet. Eesh. I like words, but
I would have gone with pink, but
oh god, okay, pink,
that's just
pink.
that's just my opinion. It's my opinion.
Fleur pink. Okay,
That's better.
It's great. Okay.
You don't like it, do you?
I've got the topper in there. I now want something to go in there, and I'm going for this bunch of flowers, the bouquet number 2. I have made loads of cards with these flowers on. These are different bunches of flowers wrapped in striped paper, pink paper. Some have got bows on, tags on,
I like the
newspaper. I know.
It's very nice.
Perfect get well cards. Perfect birthday cards.
Perfect
anything
cards.
cards as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going for bouquet 2, and I'm going to copy, and I'm coming back to my original, and I'm going to right click and paste. Oh gosh, look at those flowers. So click the box, square, layout, position, top left. I've now got a massive bouquet of flowers, and I can, if this works in any of the corners, you can click on any of the corners and shrink it down. Left click in your image and move it into the center of there. Once upon a time I would have made that fit inside there, but that's a bit little, so the leaves are going to just overlap a little bit there. I think that's perfect.
Sorry.
Yeah, Amy's kicking me, but yeah, it is perfect.
It was an accident.
Okay, now I've got a little tag on there. There's some string around there and a little tag. It's a bit small for me to write anything on, but I did wonder, and this is a bit of the trial and error bit then, I might add, let's just see how this works. So I'm choosing one of the tags for my friend. I've done the copy bit. Let's go back to Word. Right click on my paper and paste, and I get a tag. So highlight it, box, click, layout, position, click. I've now got this enormous tag, which I can shrink quite a long way down. And if I then put it at an angle, let me see where the tag is under there. There's me and Amy, like our faces are nearly on the screen.
You can just zoom in.
Yeah, let's zoom in.
Let's do that.
I told you all to zoom in, didn't I? It's a bit bigger, isn't it, than that? I can then put that over the original tag, and I've got a For My Friend tag on it. And that is the, let's make it a bit bigger for you. That is the sheer brilliance of using these digital kits. You can resize, you can reposition, you can layer things on top. Amy's laughing.
No, it's you guys crack us up.
Good double act. You should see us during the day, behind the scenes. Okay, what else can I do on here? Let's stick a sentiment on it. Sentiment tag. Always thinking kind thoughts of you, sending you bunches of love.
Paint chip.
I don't think the paint chip's going to fit on here somehow. I'd have it on if I could, wouldn't I? I've got some green on it for someone very special. Let's have a look at that. So, yeah, highlight, put your mouse over someone very special, right click and copy back into my Word document. Right click, paste. Okay, a bit big. Let's do our stuff in terms of making sure we can move it around the page. Click on it. Oh, I haven't mentioned this box comes up.
That's new.
Oh, it's been here forever type of thing.
Really?
I've lost it now, haven't I? It's gone away. Let's do it again.
The alt text.
Oh, it's gone.
No, you select it, I think.
Where?
There you go.
Ah, okay. Alt text, a green and white checkered something. If you click on that, you get a box at the side. How would you describe this? It's apparently a green and white checkered sign. You should see what it says for some of the photos that I use in scrapbooking.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no.
This looks like a picture of somebody at the seaside. Stupid things like that.
It's an accessibility tool, though.
But if you inadvertently click on that, you can close it. Or if you just click somewhere else, it takes the box away. Let's highlight that and press delete and get rid of one of them. So highlight that. I've done the making sure it'll move around. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, I could put it there, I could put it side. Because of the shape of the top I've put on, it doesn't really fit, does it? Unless, oops.
What have you done?
Unless I put it down at the bottom of here.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
work.
that would work. Now, excuse me again. With this, I can print this out just as it is and cut it out, glue it onto a 6x6 card, and it's ready to go. In reality, what I would probably do is print it out as it is, but I would highlight the flowers and the was it a frame? The frame. I would right click, highlight them both, right click, copy, come outside your box, left click, and then right click and paste. And whilst they're both highlighted, move it somewhere, appropriate on your piece of paper. And I would cut that out and stick it on top like a decoupage layer. And I would do exactly the same. I'm whizzing away, aren't I, doing this? Left click, right click, copy, left click, right click. You might not need to left click, I just right click, paste. For someone very special. And I would cut that out as well and stick that on with foam dots, foam pads, dimensional glue, something like that. I am one for these little square foam pads, to be honest. And that would be my card. You know, it's as easy as that, she says, but perseverance, getting your sizes right, lining up by using the shift key to highlight multiple layers of your papers just to make sure that they are all central. Play around with it. The thing is, you can go wrong and do this wrong 100 times without printing it out, but just practice. And trust me, 2.5, 3 years ago, Amy?
Mm-hmm. Oh, she wouldn't have touched this with barge pole.
I just couldn't have done it. Okay. I had no idea.
Deanna asks, do you use a cutting machine to cut out, or do you do it by hand?
Okay, Deanna, if it was this, I would cut this by hand. I have a small, I think it's tonic, it's orange, little mini guillotine, which it's orange. Yeah, you need to know it's orange. I would use my little mini guillotine. I'm pointing with my fingers at the screen. To cut that out. I would cut that by hand because it's quite easy, and I would cut that out by hand as well because it's pretty much straight lines. And with this one, you can see clearly enough the outline of the colour. If I just wanted a bunch of flowers, I'd do it on my Cricut. There's no way on this earth that I would try to cut that out by hand. Not at that size. If it was somewhat larger, I would probably cut that out possibly by hand, but I would leave a little white edge around all of it. What I tend to do, what I would do though, is if I had a number or elements that I wanted to cut out with the Cricut, I wouldn't cut just one out at a time. I would make probably a number of my card bases and get enough of the more intricate elements to actually cut out with the Cricut, because I hate wasting paper. I like to get my paper as full as possible.
It is also worth mentioning that when you selected the flowers and the background,
I didn't do the tag.
You didn't select the tag to copy and paste, so your extra topper won't have that. So just be aware that you need to select absolutely everything that you want.
Well spotted.
Thank you.
Well spotted.
Very good eye.
The other thing I did, just very quickly, I'm kind of always like conscious of the time. One thing that I do, which I think some people have commented on before, I'm going to take a blank word strip and I'm going to copy that, pop it back in my Word document and paste. Click the buttons. You see that's got the that text description on. If I click outside of the element, it will disappear. I'm just going to check the size of that. So right click, size 6, and my card is about 15 across. That's okay. I've got that, it's blank. I'm going to put my own words on there.
Ooh, fancy.
And that's why Mary Fran gives us blank tags. So here I'm going to insert, and this is something that I have not really mastered. This is very basic what I use and I don't play around with it. Word art.
Really? Do you?
Click. And I only ever use black text colour 1. So I use the first option. And you get a text box, and exactly the same applies here in terms of being able to move it around. But if you click in it, it won't move the box. You have to actually, can you see it's changed into that, like what I call the weather vane? The arrows, you have to get that on your outside line and drag it over. Okay, now that text's a bit on the big side. Left click and drag your mouse to highlight all the text, and then you get another box up here. I think most of you probably will have done this and know this from just using Word, but you have the font size here, and I'm going to make that 16. If I click out of it somewhere, I've now got a smaller text box. If I make the text box fit the width, I have this set on center somewhere, so I know my text will be central. Okay, I can move that with a little bit down, and if I highlight that again, I can then type. And Amy's just made me laugh.
I'm sorry.
Handmade by Lisa.
Okay.
Okay, I don't like that font. I'm going to highlight that and tick on that. Now, you've probably, those of you that do Word and things, probably have downloaded different fonts.
I'm scared of downloading things.
I'm scared of downloading things. So I just use what's on here. Harrington's quite a nice font. So I make my own little label.
Catherine says that step is so important for me because I have to write phrases in Spanish. Thank you for these tips.
Yeah, Shelley does a lot of Spanish cards. I don't think Shelley's watching tonight. She'll have forgotten we're here. But yeah, Mary Fran always has a number of blank tags. And yeah, I don't know whether Amy showed me how to do this or whether I learnt it by myself. And also, that's maybe a step too far for tonight.
Okay.
But you could, if you don't like that, what I've started to do, you can change your font colour. Sometimes I think black is a little bit harsh and I just tone it down. It's a bit light, but a lighter shade. There is a way to put your text the same colour as one of the colours from Mary Fran's designs, but it's probably a bit too long-winded, to be fair, for me to do it tonight. It is something that if people wish for me to go a little bit further with that, then I can do. I can also, if it's worked and people want it, if you want it, I could do different designs. I can use a specific collection that somebody wants me to use, write words straight onto the card, that type of thing. But my voice is really starting to fail me now. So I hope that you've learnt a little bit of something. from tonight. This video should stay on the page at least for 30 days. Facebook's a bit weird with things like this, but it should stay on the page. So have a look at it again, rewind it, whatever. The worst thing for me is it creates automatic subtitles, and I absolutely hate that because I and ah all over the place. But I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight. Amy's giggling again. I don't know what she's
Nitwit and
she's on
Deanna
about.
both said we want
I want it all. Well, you'll have to wait until my voice is a bit better for the next instalment.
Yeah, you sound terrible.
But thank you for watching. I do hope that you've learned a little bit of something from me tonight. If there's anything a bit more specific you would like, please ask on the neighbourhood page. I can't promise everything because I am not that technologically minded, but if I can do something, I will for you. And on that note, thank you all for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, your morning, and I'm going to, when Amy changes the screen, I am going to say good night to you all.